Hey, what's up, everybody? Rod J back here with Michael from Adena Distributing. And earlier, you saw a video I did with Darkness Brewing with Eric, who is their co-founder, head brewer, all that kind of stuff. Like he mentioned, his titles were basically. Michael with Adena is actually a distributing company for Darkness, along with some of the other breweries. So great being out here with you. We're kind of taking take two on this one because we started earlier on the live stream. So by the time you see this, that might be taken off because we have issues there. But we're already tasting our first beer, which is sour, which is from, I'm going to mess it up. I won't say River Rat. What's the name?
It's called Lake Rat.
Lake Rat.
Different body of water, same mammal.
Lake Rat Brewing.
Yeah.
And it's,
So if we can get
it's
this in
yeah,
here.
get that.
Nope.
Camera.
Almost. Oh, no.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah, it might be.
There we go. That's what we're doing.
So it might be out a little bit from the white light there, but picking berries, raspberry sour, ABV 4.8%. So a nice sour beer that we're taking a look at right now at this point. I'll slide this back up.
We're just about to crack open another one.
About to crack open another one as we talk about beer and distribution. And with the stream, we were going to have you be able to ask questions, but obviously it wasn't working. That's going to be the case. But you guys know comments as well, and then we'll respond to those too later on. If there's questions you have, then I can always reach out to Michael and get you those answers too. So right now, he has another beer, which is
Fantastic from Ethereal. It is a hazy, juicy New England style IPA. It uses Columbus Citra, Mosaic, and Eldorado hops. We do really well with it. Citra is the feature hop, so you're going to get all that kind of. It's always hard not to how to describe it without saying citrus, but you know, but is there a little bit of like dank, a little bit of resiny character, but mostly, grapefruit and a little bit of mango.
Yeah, you get the dank, you get the resin, you get a tropical feel.
It is a really good beer. It's just nice to have one of those beers that
I do like the dankness on it though.
And this is one of those beers where I kind of like to. It's definitely a beer I like to lead with when we're in there because we have had when we're making a sales pitch, we have had a lot of success with this beer. It's one of those beers that can kind of prove itself, even if it's not something that and people we have kind of made a name for it here, but. Even if you've never heard of this beer before in your life, the flavor profile really does say a lot about it.
Yeah, and Ethereal's been one of the ones growing in this area too, so people are definitely getting more on board with that brewery.
Yeah, we just had a pint night yesterday at Cock and Bull up in Glendale. Jungle Jim's had a big event recently. We did one at Cappy's a little bit earlier in the month, or last month now. And we actually did one up at Barrel House. March.
Nice.
Yeah.
And many of you guys that'll be watching this, you've seen the video I've done on Jungle Gym, so you've seen the extravaganza that it is. So it's like you tell the spouse, I'm going to be here for a while. You might as well go get a seat or something, or maybe go have lunch while I decide what I want to buy in this place. So a nice spot to have your beers definitely featured in. Cappy's over in Norwood, right? Cappy's, I think, is in Norwood.
Cappy's is in Norwood. There's also one in Loveland. Loveland is that's the big one.
Loveland's the one I've been to. Loveland's the one that kind of sits down off the road, like you have to really know where it's at.
Yeah.
But they always have stuff on tap, all different type of beers there too. So I'm sure you'll be having some fun there out of that one, especially as the weather breaks now this time of year.
Ethereal is on tap there, I think I'm allowed to say.
Yeah.
Cloud Candy, another hazy IPA. This one is a single hop, and it features Amarillo this time around. So that'll be, I think, you guys can't tell, but our driver just came back, and I think he just dropped that off. So we'll see how Johnny's doing. What's going on with him? I might have to pause it real quick.
Okay.
So
So I'll just take off. We talk about the Johnny coming in. So we just had Johnny come in with the delivery, dropped off some stuff and running around. That's how it goes in a distributorship.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But
never ends. Yeah.
As you can see, Johnny's back there now getting his stuff ready, as you can hear. We were talking earlier before you got cut off. We talked about some of the things as far as like the dates and turnover in stores and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the points you brought up, 'cause I want to make sure people had heard that. When things are coming out there, you guys are kind of on top of it. You're getting stuff fresh from the supplier, getting to the stores pretty fresh, kind of helping to keep an eye on that and stuff
Yeah.
too, so that people are getting the right date. Because that is a concern when some people are buying beer, especially nowadays. Not that most of your craft beer people are cheap or frugal or by any means, but they do think about cost sometimes when they buy beer. They look at the dates and they're kind of concerned there. So
you want to have, and that's what when we pick up beer, we are cognizant of when that beer is being packaged. It has been the case that we've picked up beer oftentimes when we're doing a beer pickup. One of the beers that we're picking up is being kegged and or canned that day.
Yeah.
And the beers we're also picking up and kegged usually within that same week. So usually we're not just getting one beer, we're getting between 3 and 5. And usually all of them have been packaged, especially if they're IPAs. I mean, that is paramount importance. You always see people checking the bottom of cans and looking at dates and having a making sure that they have the earlier the date, the better. Basically the more recent the date, I guess would be the better way to say it. But the closer, freshness is a huge part of what we do. And not only do we want to pick up beer when it's cold or when it's fresh, we want to pick it up when it's cold as well.
Yeah, and then of course, quicker from the supplier to the end user definitely works out to good. And here at the warehouse, I walked around you mentioned like the big size cooler, so a lot of the stuff's already in their refrigerator, already cool, which buys the freshness. And you said a day in the cooler, or would you say like an hour in the cooler?
Oh, well, yeah. When you're storing beer warm, an hour worth of warm storage is going to be worth a day of cold storage. So that's why we store all of our beer, including our bottles, cans, and kegs. We store all of that cold. We want to make sure that when we're delivering with our vehicle, that's cold as well. Yeah. What we've found is that gives us a longer shelf life, and people are able to kind of resonate. It resonates better when the beer tastes better when you're having those fresh hops are still in the beer. We can't always control whether or not our beer is going to be sold cold, but we try. And oftentimes, frankly, our beer sells quick enough that it's not sitting warm for very long anyway.
Right. And that's one of the things like we talk about for people at home, like where you have a beer cellar. You want to get to that cool spot in the house if you're going to actually sell the beer. And beer is how you can actually sell them, because some beers, if it's too warm, will go through the fermentation process again, and you don't or sometimes people have to throw it in bottles, right? Yeah, so
that is secondary fermentation is not the fault of the consumer.
No, well, no. If they store it in the wrong spot, they put it in a hot spot in the house. You don't want to put that there.
You don't want to put it there because it could damage the beer.
Right, exactly.
Should not have a secondary. Should not.
So
no, that's not. We don't have any beer. That is going to explode.
Yeah.
We have not had a single exploding beer in this warehouse. We've broken a lot of bottles and cans, but nothing. Secondary fermentation is not funny.
No.
We're laughing about it.
Because a lot of people that home cellars, they'll have an exploding beer story or some stuff. I say a lot, but there's been people that have had it happen too. So that's always a thing. So just like when you're at home, you went in a cool spot. That's what a good distributor do, would keep it in a cool place as well to avoid any changes there. But again, the quicker it gets to market, it works out that much better and stuff. So looking at the distribution type aspect of things, and some of the things you run into, like competition, heavy competition, things that may challenge you as far as.
Is there heavy competition?
Well, is there? Depends.
No,
depends.
There's a lot. There's a lot. It's a lot going on. There's a lot going on right now, and it is. It's hard to say even in this market, just because the craft beer consumer is so promiscuous and so enthusiastic about so many different brands and trying new brands. Yeah. It feels like you're competing in a weird way, because it's not like it's not like you're playing, you're not opposed to these people. You're all part of the same thing.
Right.
Someone stops buying another $15.99 4-pack, they stop doing that, then they might stop buying my product too. So it's not like I want people to be out there shitting on other breweries,
Right.
Because like we're all still kind of in the same game, even if maybe it might be too kumbaya to say that we're all on the same team now. But,
Yeah. Although in this marketplace in Cincinnati, as far as breweries, there is a good camaraderie there too. I think from like when I was talking to Eric over at Darkness, we kind of hit on some of that stuff. But from a distribution standpoint, we all know there's limitation on shelf space, limitation on tap handles, so it may not be as kumbaya as you said.
I don't know. I mean, there's competition in tap handles, competition in tap rooms too. So I think that I guess we're a little bit more kind of akin. We're kind of more close to the maybe savage reality of competition in the marketplace. Whereas I don't know. But on the other hand, I would never. Whenever I see other reps in the market, I'm never wanting to. There's not many people out there that I'm like, oh, gotta beat him, gotta make sure that she doesn't get this sale I want to, I need to, hope that, her brand starts sucking, I never really feel that way.
Right.
And just because craft beer is a little bit different, both, and we all try to be better, not just as having better beer, but having just a better attitude, and I think that is important. But also, from a practical standpoint, I mean, there's just not a lot. You can't really get very far by being a jerk to people. It just doesn't, from a practical standpoint, it just doesn't happen.
No. And, my background is more in the financial area, but it was with wholesale and type things.
Yeah.
So, same type of thing, we the competition. I mean, really, it's different product. If it was a different product, it'd be the same thing, everything else as far as dealing with, like, distribution. So, you don't badmouth the other companies, all that kind of stuff, but you're definitely trying to get your piece of the pie too. As you go.
And I think that's. I mean, it's just, and that's a pie. Like it's like it's almost kind of like, it's kind of like almost if you're talking about pie, like you're all at the bake sale. Like you don't want to you're not going to shit on the concept of pie,
right?
And like you can't say like one person's pie. I mean, like there's quality differences, and I really like the brands that we have, and I think that they do stand out, but. It is also the case that I like a lot of other beer that other people are making, and I'm sympathetic to people out there trying to sell it.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense there. So I mean, the breweries you represent. I know we mentioned like you had 9 different. Do you want to name the ones you have under you?
We have Ethereal, like we're drinking right now. We have Lake Rat, which we tried before. We talked about them on the live stream. Maybe that'll be revived. We also have Wooden Cask, was the first brewery we got. We can try this one a little bit later. I keep thinking that the camera's over there, but it's actually
right there.
It's Wooden Cask. They were the first ones to kind of give us the go-ahead. We have Darkness, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
We have Connecticut Valley, another brewery that's been doing well for us. And... there's our logo right there. And we just picked up Untitled Art about a month ago. Temperance Brewing out of Chicago. It's been a phenomenal brewery for us. Alexandria and Swine City are 2 local breweries that we get beer from every once in a while. And I don't believe I'm missing anyone.
Yeah, I didn't realize you picked up Temperance too out of Chicago.
Oh yeah, man, they make some great beer. I love their stuff. They have we call it an ESB, but it's also sold as an amber.
Okay.
Smitty Town is a big fan. I'm a big fan. The people are probably tired of me talking about how much I love that beer. We have it on nitro and in kegs and in cans. So
okay, cool.
It's a great beer.
Yeah, Chris, off the 10th, if you saw that, he said they have it on nitro. I know you're big on nitro.
Yeah.
We teased one of our guys, Chris. He's in Canada. He's off the 10th. He loves beers. He even loves, he got one of the physic machines that can make every beer
my
kind
gosh.
of. Yeah, he's kind of ate up about it, but we love it about him. So, but and I mentioned earlier, Untitled Art. My buddy Todd, that's on the channel when we do the Thursday shows as well. Some of the hangouts, he got me the first one I had for my title art, which was really good.
Which one was that?
It was I want to say it was like one of their dark ales. It was Scotch ale.
Wow.
I can't remember which one it is offhand. I
That
had to look at
sounds
my
like
Untapped and stuff, but you go through so many different beers, but trust me, it stood out. So that's a good thing, which is always great when you're going through so many different beers. You have the ones that stand out along those lines. So looking forward to trying more of that line. As far as like being a distributor, like anything you run into as far as like I always say like legality type stuff, like just like the minutia you have to deal with as a distributor to meet the guidelines of the laws and all that stuff.
I don't want to get into too much trouble talking about that.
Oh no, but just
we do our best all the time. We have this is a bourbon rye barrel aged Scotch ale.
Nice.
We just picked up from these guys. Maybe we can.
Regular.
That's precarious.
Yeah. Start building a pyramid here, yeah.
But it's very important to make sure you're following the laws. Because we have no time to be going to court or to be shut down or anything like that. And we don't really want to be spending the money that we have to buy beer on legal fees or fines or something like that. So we want to have compliance and make sure that we are up to speed on everything. And that's where my partner and I, being in the industry for as long as we have, we're not as long as some people, but we have been doing it for a little while. That is always key. And people break the law all the time. It's kind of weird to me when you hear like, oh yeah, this distributor put my tap system in. Like, okay, cool. And, like that's...
you shouldn't be broadcasting that probably.
You don't want to have some people that don't know.
Yeah.
And, stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of tap handles out there that are supported by Bengals tickets and Reds tickets. And
like many of the things in business becomes almost a pay to play in some ways sometimes. You try not to get into that. Yeah.
I mean, you know how you can get Bengals tickets? Money. You can spend money, and you know how you get money if you're a bar. You can sell beer.
Yeah.
It's how good is a beer going to sell if someone needs tickets to sell it? You know what I mean? That's like, you know what? Like, why didn't this beer just sell without Bengals tickets?
Well, the question will be rated. Why does Bengals tickets hold a value like that anyway?
Oh, yeah. That's just one of
the way it's been going. Why? I mean, how do you know Bengals value had a ticket there? The tickets had a value.
Like you can make, I don't know, like a beer that doesn't sell is very expensive. But whatever. So we try to follow the law most of the time.
Yeah.
All the time. We always try to follow the law. We try to make sure we understand that nobody's perfect, but we try to be. Yeah. I think we're probably because we're small. I think we break almost no laws because of that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're definitely on top of it when you're smaller. I think sometimes when you get larger, not that you try to look past it, but it's easier to maybe miss something here or there, possibly if you have more and more people involved.
Mm-hmm.
Your operation here, is it like 5 people?
It's 5 people.
5 people, yeah. So
me, the other founder, Heather, Kyle are 2 salespepeople, and then Johnny, our operations guy.
Okay. And how hard was it to get set up as a distributor? I mean,
it took a long time, and I was actually surprised at how long it took. There's just things that you want to do, and everything takes longer than you expect it to.
Yeah.
We had we got our van, and that took forever to get outfitted with refrigeration. Our refrigeration we have in this building took a while. We had to have a building before we could even apply for a license. And then the other thing is you can go on the internet and buy brewing equipment from China or wherever.
Yeah.
You can't just online order breweries to sell. So we had to develop those relationships.
Yeah.
And that took a while to make sure we knew that we were going to have beer to sell when we opened our doors.
Yeah. You get a lot of. I know that's funny when you said China because
Yeah.
I was like, you must be getting the same emails I always get. Like Chinese companies always trying to sell me brewery type. I'm like,
Oh wow.
I like, yeah, I get stuff on Facebook. I get stuff on LinkedIn. I'm like, I'm not a brewery. I talk about breweries and I talk about beers, but being a distributor, you probably get people reaching out to you and stuff from like China.
I don't get as much as you think. I don't know. And what's sad is because we actually were running a brewery originally. That's kind of how this whole thing came about. And so like I was looking at how much that would cost and signing up for different emails and stuff like that. But I haven't gotten anything for a while on that.
Somehow I got on the email list or something. I get like, somebody from China. Hey, we want to sell you brewing equipment if you're ready. I'm like, I'm not a brewery, so but it's like they reach out. So I mean, they got a market too. So, but it's one of those things that I guess they see a contact name, they see beer. It's like, oh, let's see if they want to buy something. So anyway, that is what it is.
You do gotta, I think they just gotta try and make their buck the same way. Just cold calling people, spamming people.
Basically. No, I think if you don't know somebody, maybe you know somebody. Which makes sense if I didn't know anybody because I know other people in the world that can refer them.
Who knows? Eric might need some fermenters soon.
Yeah. And then, so you got the brewery. We talked about earlier one of the breweries from Saline. We talked about Illinois with the other one. How far up are you going now in distribution? Because we're actually in the Cincinnati area for people watching if you're not aware. But you're doing the Ohio stuff, but how far are you going up in Ohio?
Columbus,
okay.
And Dayton, we go up there often enough.
Okay.
We're sending a truck up there on Thursday.
Okay.
I need to make sure we got enough product for that.
Okay.
But Cincinnati's our home. That's where we sell most of our beer. But people in Columbus and Dayton have been asking about what we have, and we've been giving it to them.
Excellent. So for a few of you guys out there in the area, for instance, Jay over at This Guy's Thoughts, he's on the other side of Dayton from me. You'll see some of these beers probably up in your area as well. Yeah. We were talking about different beers and stuff. He's like, I haven't seen him get up here yet and stuff. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, what part of Dayton is he?
He's actually north of Dayton. I forgot what town it is, but like I say, I'm south of Dayton. He's north of Dayton a little bit. But from here, from me to where he's at, it's probably about hour 15 or something. I think it's between Dayton and Columbus. So he sees a lot of different stuff that comes around the circle around the area and stuff.
Yeah, Jay, you might have to drive a little bit south.
Yeah.
Dayton.
But for some of the other guys we have out there, we have a few people in Ohio that check out some of the beers. And then some of the brewers, like I said, Todd, he's in Indiana, but obviously he knows Untitled Art, like I mentioned earlier. So, but a lot of good breweries are bringing into the fold here. How long have you been doing this now?
Almost a year for me doing this full time, but we opened in September, so it would be this is by our 8th month, I think. Okay. We did 4 months in 2018. Really, it was really 3 in September. We were making deliveries straight from the brewery. Yeah. And the cooler wasn't set up. The van wasn't here. We didn't have any employees. It was just me. Yeah. And then we went to getting our first employee, Kyle, who was doing deliveries 2 days a week, and then went to 3 days, and then became a sales rep. We hired Johnny as a driver. Now he's doing our operations, and then we hired as our third rep behind Kyle and I. Yeah. So awesome. Yeah. Awesome. We started with Wooden Cask and Darkness, and then we got like a little bit of Alexandria, and then we weren't able to get any beer from them. So basically for like most of October, we had only 2 breweries. Then we added Temperance at the beginning of November, and then Ethereal and Lake Rat and Swan City. And now we've been getting we added Connecticut Valley actually, I think, in November as well. Yeah. So we had a pretty quick burst of breweries early on, and now we've been just adding them, cautiously. Nice. Yeah, Untitled Art has been a big one, and we're bringing in Blackacre next, I guess this month now. Okay. And then from Indiana, and then we'll be Cellar Dweller. They're doing a canning run. We'll be helping them out with the cans and a little bit of draft out in March. market throughout Ohio.
Let's see what beer was I have for sale. That's really bothering me now. Here. Eye opener.
Yeah. We'll be getting cans of that in next week.
Okay.
Yeah, next week, 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty good stout they'd actually done. So definitely one worth checking out. I think that might have been one that Jay had mentioned he wanted to see too, because he was up, like I said, just on the other side of Dayton. But they're out of Morrow, Ohio.
Yeah, Morrow, Ohio.
So.
Yep. How'd you know that?
Yeah, right. One of the beer glasses I got home earlier during the stream, we were trying to figure it out. I was like, I can't remember what they were. And I was like, Goshen or something? It's like, Morrow. That's right, it's Morrow. So.
Did you know that they are Valley Vineyards as well?
Yeah, Valley Vineyards, right, because they do the wine there as well. So I knew about Valley Vineyards too. And they've actually been down to a few of the beer fests in the past, I think, because I think I've talked to them a few times. Which we'll have that upcoming here.
There's the Brews on the Block, actually, I think.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have the next beer fest coming up like here in September, I believe.
Yeah.
Last year we did at the Res Ballpark, but I'm sure you may have some people involved. I know Randy was there from Winning Cast last year, and I think Darkness might have done.
Darkness, just Randy. I found out we were doing that when I was on my honeymoon, actually.
Yeah.
And we didn't have any state licensing yet, so I was like, all right, let's see if those goes. And it worked out perfectly.
Good. Yeah, that's always a good time and stuff too. But no, a lot of good things going on here. Looking forward to trying all the different type of stuff you got coming in with the beers. Fortunately for you guys, you're all watching it because we can get the stream, just like no question type part of it. So, but if you, like I said, leave some comments, if you have questions on stuff like that and everything, and I'll put a list up of the different breweries that Michael's working with too in the description when I get that updated and stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And
glad you made it. Did you have fun?
Oh, it was a great time. Yeah, definitely. So, going out to one of the breweries and coming here and talking some of the distribution and great day to spend a Friday. So
yeah, definitely.
Which now the sun is coming out again. I guess it was rain, it was sun, it was rain, it was sun. But no, it was good. Got a chance to check out. I still keep thinking in my head. Remember, it is
Lake Rat. Well, there's a lot of breweries out there. So
yeah, well, around Cincinnati, I think about playing softball. Like one of the teams was called River Rats, and it gets stuck in my head.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's lots. It's a popular thing to call a softball team or a brewery.
And this one here, and actually, because you guys have, some of you have noted, you like the Connecticut Valley sign I have. Well, Michael's actually the one that got me the Connecticut Valley sign that I have on the wall. But check out the artwork on this can here, which is pretty cool, from Connecticut Valley and their Devil's Hop Yard. So
yeah, we can try this if you'd like.
Well, we can do it. Well, give you the honors, sir. Yeah. But it's got like a nice little comic strip type label, which is pretty cool that you can read around on the beer itself too. So
this uses Eldorado, Citra, and Mosaic hops. All three of those are cheater hops.
Yeah. Got a tropical feel too.
Carelessly right there. I think this is actually
that's easier on top of the can. Yeah. Ooh, like tropical citrus.
Yeah. This is a fantastic beer.
It's got a nice flavor profile.
We got like 24 cases of this.
Yeah.
And it's been just fantastic. We absolutely love this beer.
You get a little bit of a stickiness in the texture, which I always say like a syrupy type thing, which is good because it leaves that flavor on your tongue nicely. That even after you're drinking, you're still tasting it, you're still feeling it, you're still getting that experience in it. In a way, I like that about the beers like this because then it's not like you're rushing through to get that taste again. You already have it. You really sit there and enjoy it. It's like enticing you to just take your time, enjoy it, drink it down. Yeah.
We are drinking this down pretty quickly.
Well, I mean, it's all relevant. So, but it's good. It has a nice little smoothness to it on the back end as well. Having all those hops in there, even though you have all those hops, you don't have as much of the itchiness in the throat from some of the hops as well. Because I know that turns off sometimes people when they get that hard hop presence. It's more of a little bit malted out on the balance and everything. That you're picking up that sweetness there too. But very nice.
Thank you. I didn't have anything to do with the brewing of the beer, but I did buy it, I guess.
Good call.
Yeah,
Good
brought
call.
it in.
Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers. This was great, though. I'm glad we were able to get down
Yeah,
here,
definitely.
do this, and I know it was a little busy, and we'll have to.
Yeah, this was like a few months in the making of us
Yeah.
getting together on this stuff. But you got the Facebook page too, right? So
I do, yeah.
you guys can check out the Facebook page. I'll get that description.
Facebook, Instagram. My sister runs that. I run the Twitter, so it's a lot less busy.
There you go.
But we do have some. Check out the Instagram and the Facebook. And we do have an actual website too, Adena.com.
There you go. Yeah, so I'll get those links in there as well. And then that way you can see what kind of beers Michael has there. And I'm sure you're updating, or your sister's updating the Facebook page with different things happening. It was funny on Instagram. You had the picture, and I said something about we need to get together or whatever. And we'd already talked about coming out, and she responded, "Get with Michael." I was like, "Well, we're already set." Yeah. So
already got squared away. Yeah,
but it's great. So for those of you some of you that watch in the local area here in Cincinnati, you'll see a lot of their tap stuff around town and stuff. Definitely check out some of the beers that they are definitely distributing for.
Yeah,
but,
check us out, but definitely check out our breweries. I mean, there is not a bad beer in the bunch for sure.
Yeah. So they got some nice breweries under them. They're doing some good stuff. There's Reformation. Randy's done a pretty good job on winning cast. That's usually one of the places I like to stop into because he's about 15 minutes from my house over there in Kentucky.
Well, I mean, you drive hours to check it out, right?
Well, sure, yeah. I mean, if I land in a town and I'm not from there, go around. You get on some of the different things. You go around to the different breweries and you check out stuff. So fine selection of some of the different ones here. I think at this point we're going to go ahead and wrap it up because we went through a lot of different stuff there. Like I said, comment, reply back if you like some stuff. You want to find out some more information, just let us know. Make sure you check out the links that I'll put in there for Michael's stuff that they're doing in Adena. And that all being said, look forward to catching you guys next time. Thanks again for Michael.
Thank you, Rodney. Always appreciate it.
Always. And as always, keep drinking those good craft beers. Remember, there's always time. Get your beer on. Cheers.
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better come.